tax collectors were not alone. While the Gospels proclaim God's extravagant welcome of sinners and outcasts, is strangely mute about the lives they led. We've added to the stories, such as the rumors and innuendos surrounding Mary Magdalene. The scriptures only state that Mary was freed of 7 demons. It was the church that made of her a prostitute and a harlot. Rather than to stand apart from the world as persons of faith, we too often reflect the world, operating from its presumption of guilt. Perhaps it's a matter of survival in a chaotic world, and it's certainly easier than engaging those that are different from us. Following this controversy surrounding Reverend Wright, the Collegium of Officers of the United Church of Christ called upon its member churches to engage in a sacred conversation on race and racism. After the last presidential primaries on Tuesday, when Barack Obama became the Democratic candidate for president, there was considerable discussion as to how far the country has progressed since the 1960s. Surely the presidential race before us is a clear indication that we have begun to address racism, in our society. That some of the grievances of the past are left behind us. Yet, we have only to look around us to know that we still separate ourselves, whether intentionally or unintentionally, by the color of our skin. Week after week, we continue to choose to worship with those who look and behave like us. Yes, we have made considerable progress, but we are still far from becoming a colorblind society. The chapel has also played a role in addressing racism through its participation in the International Council of Community Churches. An informal association of local churches, the ICCC began in the late 1950s with the intention of drawing white and black congregations into conversation with one another. Indeed, the late Reverend Jim Marsh served as the president of the ICCC, while he served as the chapel's pastor on Longboat Key. I too had an opportunity to attend one of their annual meetings in 2005 and had a chance to observe this ongoing dialogue. While I took note of the camaraderie among the pastors, I also observed that after 40 years, it was still white and black congregations in conversation with one another. Surely we have achieved much, but we have yet much to achieve if we are to consider ourselves a truly open and inclusive community. This is the challenge of coming face to face with Reverend Wright. He represents a different world view. He is driven by a passion for justice and prosperity for the black community. Though we may not agree with his conclusions or the manner in which he has recently presented himself, do we seek anything less for our own families, our own communities? That is the challenge of the gospel lesson this morning. It is God who offers the invitation to bring healing that all God's people might be one. It is a call to engagement. Messy, challenging, transforming, renewing. Over my head, I see Jesus in the air. Over my head, I see Jesus in the air. Over my head, I see Jesus in the air. There must be a God somewhere.